Let's fight. A very good evening to each and every one of you. Wherever you guys are joining us from this evening, it is our privilege to be joining you guys at this end, whether you're in Guyana, you're in the diaspora, region 11, wherever you are this evening. Some folks are on Twitter, the bel air of social media. Some folks are on YouTube. Some folks are on Facebook. We know you all fast, and so you guys are joining us from that place. The blew up Meta, full stop. Good to have each and every one of you joining us in the ring, guys. And as we gather together, as we come forth, guys, we gotta play the song. We want to play the song for you guys. Let's fight. Let us know how you guys are receiving our song at your end. Good to have all of you guys with us this evening, guys. We'd rather have it no other way. Great to see all of you in the ring with us this evening, wherever you guys are joining us from tonight. Great to have you guys on board. Trust that you guys have had a fantastic day, an overcoming day, a day where you surmounted the challenges. Great to have each and every one of you in the ring, guys. Wherever you guys are joining us from, you know when you come in the ring what you gotta do. We see all the usual suspects are lining up in the ring, guys. As you know, you come on, you share that live stream, and we ain't gonna waste no time this evening. We are going to be joined this on tonight's program by the one and only coming up, guys. Khemraj Ramjattan is going to be our guest this evening. Of course, we're talking about the Jagabats, among other issues, and you guys are going to want to stay tuned for that. We're going to be joined by the Member of Parliament, leader of the Alliance for Change, Mr. Khemraj Ramjattan. We're talking about the Kavakamites, the Jagabats, the Nakavakamites, the Trenchies, all the above. We're going to be discussing this evening, guys. So welcome in the ring. It is our privilege to be here with you once more, guys. Wherever you guys are joining us from, Ringsiders, you know what you got to do. You got to assemble, Ringsiders. Assemble. Guys, we're ready to go. We don't know about you. If you come late tonight, you're going to miss something. So welcome in the ring to each and every one of you guys. We trust again. You've had a great, fantastic day, and you guys are fired up. You are ready to go. You guys are ready to fight, and we know you won't have it any other way, guys. Right to the fight card this evening, and getting right to business. Let me get a little bit of it off of my shoulder. Yes, I think we are better there, guys. Lots of information to discuss with you. You're gonna want to share the live stream wherever you guys are joining us from this evening, and we want to see those emojis as well, guys. As we said, welcome in the ring. Trust you guys have had a fantastic day. Right off the bat, guys, we want to get to the Jagabats. You know them. I know them. We all know them. The Jagabats. Yes, it's them. The other side. The friends and the minions. The Jagabats. Couldn't put it any better. That word says it's all. It's them. Yep. The Jagabats. Folks, and some people name calling tonight. A lot of people name calling tonight. Kesharma, I hope your name is not going to be called. Audrey Ward, your name calling? I hope your name is calling. Some people name calling. A lot of people name calling. Francis Escourse, your name calling? What about Sharon Costello Edwards? I hope your name is calling, Sharon. I hope Sharon name is not calling. Some people name calling. And one of the names that are calling this evening, ladies and gentlemen, is a young lady named Rupa Samuels from New Amsterdam Hospital. Narupa Samuels. Folks, a lot of things happening at New Amsterdam Hospital. So let us unpack, in the words of our colleague Randolph Critchlow, Lakshmi Narupa Samuels. The allegations are that Lakshmi is making life very difficult for a lot of people there at New Amsterdam Hospital. And the wrong set of people is the hard-working people. A lot of people skiving at New Amsterdam Hospital. And this Lakshmi Narupa keeps telling people about all contacts in government, all contacts in the PPP, and that nobody can do her nothing. Narupa, your name calling. One letter that was copied to Nigel Darmlal I don't know why they copied to Dharmlal of all persons, because as far as I know, Dharmlal has nothing to do with health per se. But perhaps people know the links that Narupa got. Roops, your name calling. So here's what the letter said, folks. I write this letter to let you know that Lakshmi Samuels Rupa is in the habit of being wicked to the staff here at the other hospital, Fort Wellington Hospital. Narupa, she's in the habit of being wicked. According to this letter, copied to the minister, the installed minister, Nigel Dharmlal, she is vindictive and rude and wants things her way. This is the allegations about Rupa and her activities at Fort Wellington Hospital. She has a habit of being wicked. She preaches about the rules while she breaks the same rules by reporting sick. And according to this letter copied to the minister, she went to Sandals Hotel in Barbados and proud to brag about her connections in high offices. This thing here wants some cokes and popcorn early. According to the folks who wrote to the minister, the installed minister Nigel Dharmlal, she says she's sick, but like she was recuperating at Sandals Hotel in Barbados and proud to brag that she got connections in high PPP offices. And her personal friend is the vice president. Pim, her personal friend. And no one can touch her. Somebody touching Narupa. Somebody. Nobody perhaps at Fort Wellington, but somebody. She boasts her personal friend is the installed vice president, and no one can touch her. So the folks at Fort Wellington says she has a habit of being wicked. Y'all know the Narupa types. You know them, I know them, Roxanne Estrado. We all know them. The Narupa types. Let me get some of this off of my shoulder. We know them. Margaret Jones. You don't know some of them? A lot of people name calling. Junita France. I hope your name and calling. Erica Hooper. I hope your name and calling. You see, once you share the live stream, that is the first thing to get your name off the name calling list. So we are watching. We are watching the activities there at Fort Wellington. You know who are the name calling? The hospital administrator there as well. Sasha Wong. Sasha, your name calling too. And not for any good reasons. We have seen several letters copied to the installed minister, Nigel Dharmlal, copied to the president from the folks at Fort Wellington. So not only is Narupa Samuels Lakshmi, not only is her name calling, Sasha Wong, the administrator, and we are made to understand that Narupa is a steward there at Fort Wellington. And Sasha Wong is the administrator. Sasha and Narupa, if y'all want to come into the ring, be our guests. But the people are saying that you guys have a habit of being wicked. Quote unquote. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know who else name calling? Y'all know, I'm giving y'all a clue. I'm giving y'all a clue. Y'all know who else name calling? Huh? I'm giving y'all a clue. Oh, you know the man, I know the man. I'll give you a little clue. Who else name calling? Anil. Your name calling, Anil. Your name calling. Now they got some fantastic amendments that they want to make to Region 4, District 4. And I'm going to ask my guests about this evening. I'm going to ask the Honorable Member of Parliament, Khemraj Ramjattan, about this. Now, Anil is proposing that they bust up Region 4. They want to dismantle Region 4. They dismantle SARA. They attempted to dismantle the constitutional agencies, their financial independence. Chief Justice wasn't having it at all. Roxanne George, Wiltshire, she wasn't having it. The Chief Justice was not having it. And so she rolled back what they were trying to do to the constitutional agencies. They've disbanded the State Asset Recovery Unit, fired 40-something odd staff. And now Anil is coming with this fantabulous plan of what the Republicans were trying to do in some places in the US of A. Those of you who are joining us from that part of the diaspora, you guys know what we're talking about. How they were trying to get some headways into Democratic territory by redistricting some of those areas. And that was one of the things, for instance, that fantastic young lady who brought home the victory for the Democrats in places like Atlanta, Stacey Abrams, fought against. But this is what Anil them coming with now. It's trying to redistrict Region 4. Why? They have won, quote unquote, parts of Region 4. Like, for instance, certain aspects of the East Coast, where you had those ballot boxes with no statutory documents. Quote unquote, they've won. But they've never won Region 4 as a region. And so these kinds of what you call assaults on democracy, the breaking down of the guardrails of democracy, it's the rigging. It is to satisfy their victory that they perceive they want out of Region 4. And so this is part of the amendments that they're trying with. And here is part of what Nandilal said. And as I said to you, coming up, we're going to be talking to Mr. Khemraj Ramjattan about these and other issues. But here's what this Jagabat said. This Jagabat, talking to GPI, says that District 4 is a special district. Yes, because you never win it. A special district in the electoral equation of this country. It is the most populated district. And it has always had the greater number of controversy. Yes, like when Do Not Sing had declared victory for the PPP and ballots were still being counted in large portions of Region 4 and in Georgetown in particular in 97. Greatest number of controversies. He goes on to state that what we are proposing in these amendments, we are subdividing it into 4 units. East Bank, East Coast, North Georgetown, South Georgetown, according to him. Each one is compartmentalized in terms of staff, infrastructure, regulation, and rules, and systems and procedures. So you want now to have different strokes for different folks. So for instance, I'm certain he would want East Coast to have their own returning officer for the East Coast. A PPPite, no doubt. Just like the one Gokul Budu back at Chicom. Y'all ain't seen through this? Y'all are not seeing through this? Roxanne Bradford, I'm certain you see what's happening here. Read the comments, share the live stream, guys. I'm certain we see what is happening here. So this is the B part of the PPP rigging. Of the PPP rigging. We saw what happened along the East Coast, among other places. Why aren't we subdividing Region 3 and 6 and 9 for greater efficiency? Why aren't we doing that? But folks, just recently, I told you of some of the machinations that are in play. The PPP come back. Quickly walking you through them again. This is what they've been doing at GCOM. Right? You know, in geography terms, you might call this terraforming. You're changing the environment to suit your needs. Terraforming. So they got rid of Lowenfield. They want to bring Gokul Budu. They got rid of Roxanne Myers. They want to put in there one of their guys. dancing, got rid of Clement Mingo. Oh, they want to redistrict now. Enrique Levant, they carry to court. Michelle Miller, Carolyn Duncan, you know the team. And we've spoken right here quite recently, as we've always done, about the political prosecutions. Oh, they're trying with Big Auntie Valda, stop it. They're trying with Carol Joseph, stop that. They're trying with Christopher Jones. And just last evening, we told you about the Sidney James issue. They're trying with Sidney James. And you know what I want to point out here? Folks, again, that for over a year, they've had these matters in the court. And like they gone to the evidence factory. And not only have they gone to the evidence factory, ladies and gentlemen, they're building the factory. Because they haven't had a shred of evidence in these court cases. Over a year, wasting taxpayers' money. Wasting taxpayers' money on these frivolous cases, trumped-up charges. And while I have shown you on the other side what is happening, you know what's happening on the other side? Those folks have had their charges dropped. If you guys have been following, they've had their charges dropped. Not so Esther Blue, Joan Stephanie, Carl Miller, Natasha Joseph, Ingrid King. I hope you guys are sharing this live stream so that the world can see how the PPP are rigging for 2025 or even sooner. And we ain't talking about local government elections. Folks, you all know local government elections supposed to be this month. What is happening? Rena Cummins, Hazel Job. What's happening with local government elections? Andrea Chester, Seymour George. What is happening with that Diane Yearwood? They ain't talking about that. The Jagabats, the confusion powderness, they're not talking at all about that. But Anil name calling in this redistricting in which they want to split up Region 4 into these what he call components, 4 units. Right. What is it for? It is all to benefit them. It is all to benefit them. Not Guyanese. Not even PPP supporters. It is to benefit them. That cabal, that clique at the top, siphoning off the resources of this country to their benefit, not to yours and mine. So that is what this is about. Guys, we hope that you are sharing the live stream. Don't let us get complacent, you know. Some of you all come on board, militant and ready to go for one night, and then you all give up the fight and you all stop sharing the live stream. You all stop being vigilant. But the minute you take your eyes off of these guys, they go with you. Anil, your name calling. Anil name calling. We're being made to understand. In addition to that, breaking up, dismantling Region 4 into these units. Folks are asking whether this piece of real estate, ladies and gentlemen, viewers around the world, is the new Attorney General's office. Now, this piece of real estate is set to change the face of Thomas and Middle Street. Those of you in the diaspora, I hope you guys haven't forgotten your real estate in Georgetown, the landscape in Georgetown, this monstrosity of a building. And we're made to understand that just today, Anil was there. Credible sources and information suggest that Anil visits here on a regular basis. And that is why the people who are in that area want to know if the new Attorney General's chamber is being moved to this area here. And today was such a day. The government vehicle is there, the bodyguards are there, and Anil is visiting. And so the question is being asked, is Anil a site engineer? Is he What is his role here? Is this the AG's chambers that is coming at Thomas and Middle Street? Guys, when you're passing there, look at that big building. I'm eager to know. I'm certain Guyanese would want to know, who does this building belong to at Thomas and Middle Street? Who does this building belong to? Again, Anil Lim is calling here that Anil visits this property a lot. 2, 3, 4 times per month. I mean, I haven't seen in Parliament, for instance, this location come up, but that doesn't say it isn't the new Attorney General's chamber. But again, it remains to be seen. Who else name calling? A lot of people name calling, folks. Lot of people name calling. How do people name calling too? Pamela Jerrick, your name calling? Diane McFarlane, I hope you name and calling, or calling for the right reasons. Warnella, Winnie, Candy Leline, Nicole, your name calling? I hope not. Look who else name calling. Frank name calling. So we spot this on the installed Minister of Health's Facebook page. Got married today. Now, I am not one to be in people's bedroom affair. Who Frank want marry and to court and all that, that's Frank business. That's not my business. Want to Frank and his wife and all those things. Me concerned with that. Frank got to sort out his own salvation with fear and trembling. Frank has to do that. But when we saw this on the page of the installed Minister of Health, we understand why COVID has been running away from us. We understand that in an intimate way. Why Frank has been distracted. We understand now why they have not had a handle on COVID, because Frank has had his hand on other things. We understand. But Frank, now that this is out of the way, right, we haven't seen anything that suggests, usually you got to take usually wealthy, opulent people like Frank would take a year off for honeymoon, but we can't afford it in this country. Taxpayers can't afford to pay Frank's salary a year honeymoon. So I don't know if Frank went on the honeymoon before the wedding or what is happening. But now that we got this out of the way, Frank, we intend to see some positive results where COVID-19, because one would assume that in courting and all of that, lots of time has to be spent doing that. You're on the phone with your paramour late in the evening, talking sweet nothingness, singing love songs and reciting poetry. Someone once says, at the touch of love, every man becomes a poet. So we could understand why COVID was left to go unabated. So now that we've gotten this out of the way, get to work, Frank. You understand now why there's a no confidence motion being moved by the opposition against the installed Minister of Health? You understand that? You understand why now? Again, this was on the installed minister's Facebook page. So congratulations, Frank. So nice. Sometimes I gotta do it twice. More in the matter than just the pistol. More in the matter than just the pistol. And so, folks, we saw just today Hilton Franklin and Lenrick Bias charged for the brutal murder of Dr. Colin Roach. Just today, we saw them charged. And here is part of the footage with them boys at the Georgetown Magistrates Court. All right? And Hilton Franklin looked like he ain't care. He's reached the top. Here is part of what took place there, folks, at the Georgetown Magistrates Court just today. You can't do the time, don't do the crime. So again, both Hilton Franklin and Lenrick Bias were charged today for the murder of Dr. Colin Roach. More in the matter than just the pistol. More in the matter. Who leaked the videos of Dr. Colin Roach and his friends having a nice time? Who leaked the videos? That is the question that is being asked. Who leaked those videos? And did you know that the editor of an online news publication has been taken into police custody for questioning in relation to those leaked videos? There is one school of thought out there, viewers, that suggests that it is the police. Of course, no Guyanese will think that is far-fetched, that the police would leak those videos. Police involved in robbery, police give you a shakedown when they stop you on the road. Clearly, nobody would say, no, not the Ghana police force. As a matter of fact, we have seen the Ghana police force return to such decadence under this administration and its current leadership. And so the question being asked tonight, who leaked those videos? Interesting videos, telling their own story. If a picture tells 1,000 words, how many words those videos telling? And the big question that's being asked by authorities, the police know. You think the police don't know? The police know. The same way the police know who killed Orrin Boston in Essequibo, that businessman that was shot, unarmed and shot by the SWAT team. The police know. So this issue about that matter being before the Office of Professional Responsibility of the Ghana Police Force is hogwash. The same way, there are people who know who leaked the video or videos. Again, if a picture tells 1,000 words, how many words? These videos telling us more in the matter than just the pistol. And for those folks who are new to such a term, a colloquialism, the Guyanese vernacular, it means this story got more to it than what we just hearing about the place. And you all know, story got three sides. It's me side, you side, and some people say the truth. Some other people says me side, you side, and the side we hear about yet. And we will continue to bring you the details on this particular story as they become available to us. Local government, folks, 7 persons terminated just today by the Local Government Commission, led by Mr. Faber, the chairman, this gentleman, this jagabat. 7 persons, members of the commission, told us that these firings were justified because of the fraud that was transpiring or on the way at City Hall. $1 million. $1 million. 6 persons fired. That's the sum we saw in the press. And from our sources, $1 million. 6 of them, they gone. But what is interesting about this story, we saw Demwara Waves and another publication says they were summarily dismissed. Now, I think summarily dismissed talks about being instantly dismissed from one's place of employment for gross misconduct. For instance, you get a cashier, you find your cashier stealing, and right there and then, you say pick up your bag and beat out. But these guys were on administrative leave, there was a probe, there was investigation. I don't think that is summarily dismissed. But that being said, I leave that to those people who are practicing in the legal sphere. That being said, but I have the impression, we have the impression, folks, at this end, they got more in this matter here at City Hall than just the pistol. And from some of the other information we have been receiving at our end, we get the sense, we get the distinct impression, more in this matter here than just the pistol. That being said, viewers from around the world, you know some people don't get the 30 pieces of silver. You know some people don't get it. I know what else to tell you. Some people don't get the 30 pieces of silver. And you know on the streets, that mean Orban Don Cook, you know. Natasha Joseph, Volme Wilson, you know. Desiree Manuel, you know what that means on the streets. Folks, y'all sharing this live stream. We know what that means on the streets. 30 pieces of silver. Very recently, in other news, we saw our friends, our brothers from Hits and Jams. Them boys gone into construction now. Yep. Them boys gone into construction. And so, part of a company, being part of a company called, according to the media, Statement Construction Company, they were just awarded $346 million to build a primary school at Bamia and Amelia's Ward in Linden. So them boys have gone into construction. Kudos! Money got for make. Money got for make. Natasha and Molly and Mullen, money got to make. PPP come back, money got to make. That's how them boys roll. And so, again, in the news, approximately 800 students are expected to be housed in a new $346 million primary school to be constructed at Bamia Amelia's Ward, Linden. The contract for the construction was signed by the Regional Executive Officer, one Dwight John, and principal of the Statement Construction Company. Now, the actual Regional Executive Officer, the REO of Region 10, Mr. Darren Adams, has taken exception to that because they have really and truly gone past the regional officials like Darren Adams. This Jagabat, Nigel Darmlal, they've gone past the regional officials at Linden and done this deed. So we have seen them boys being awarded this $346 million contract. Kudos. Them boys can make the money. Right? So from radio to construction. But just last year, we saw also in the media that it was our friends from Hits and Jam who were also awarded a contract for a local hotel. And they were supposed to be partnering with, let me make sure I'm on my notes, with the Sheraton and an Element branded hotel. Element is another hotel brand apparently. Just last year, just mid last year, or after the PPP came in rather, they were awarded this or expressed this desire to build this hotel, a hotel in the shape of an H, partnering with Sheraton and this Element branded hotel. So them guys in hotel business, the building school, and they got a fantastic radio station too. When I grow up, I want to be like these guys, you know. What you folks think? Andy Williams and Babita Kissoon, Patricia Shanti. What do you guys think? Deborah Cox and Paula Greaves. A lot of people getting the 30 pieces of silver, you know. Look at some of the other Jagabats who, since this government has assumed office, have gotten their 30 pieces of silver as well. You know them. I know them. We all know them. You know Shuban. You know Shudas. Shudas is ministerial advisor on civil aviation, attached to the Ministry of Public Works. Yep. 30 pieces of silver. Cushy job. Fantastic salary. Schumann also got, for his work in the last election, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly. Never mind when the other Jagabat, the Speaker overseas, Schumann not being allowed to deputize. That Jagabat, the Speaker, he has gone to Dubai recently. It's almost a month. It is almost a month since we're out of the parliamentary recess, which started on the 10th day of October. Which ended rather on the 10th day of October. Tomorrow is November 10th. We have not had one parliamentary sitting since that time. Folks, you all sharing the live stream. And then we got Ralph Ramkaran. For his part, Ralph got advisor to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, on border matters, on border issues. And then Jerry Gavaya, this Jagabat, this vagabond, he's advisor on national security. He came out of the private sector commission. He was chair of the private sector commission. So for his part, in 2020 election, his payment is advisor on national security. And then, the Guardian Dawn Singh is now guardian of the 5G network. And he's also an applicant for chairman of chief executive officer, CEO of GCOM. Right? CEO of GCOM. And just like the one from Fort Wellington, who said nobody can touch she, just like the one from Fort Wellington, Lakshmi Narupa Samuels, we know somebody touching Lakshmi. Somebody touching Asha, because Asha got plenty. Asha Kisoon, who came out of the New Movement Party. But we know the party broke up. Everybody resigned the other day. Asha was observer to the Bahamian elections quite recently. Asha is a director at GWI. Asha is a director on the Atlantic Hotel boards. If I'm not mistaken, Atlantic Hotel is the facility that manages the Marriott. She's on that board. And Asha is also on the board of an oil and gas company recently formed called Guy Energy. So Asha can't say nobody can touch she. Somebody touching Asha. Somebody touching Asha. The same way somebody can touch Lakshmi Narupa Samuels. So they can't say nobody can touch me. Who know? And folks, this list isn't exhausted. Let me just tell you that this list here is not exhausted at all. And we are going to be updating it ever so often. We need an hour and a half more to go through this list, and we'll be telling you systematically all the people that got their 30 pieces of silver since August 2nd, 2020. It is not an exhaustive list. Y'all better share the live stream. Folks, the one and only Khemraj Ramjattan is already waiting. I'm going to be asking him about lots of these issues we have covered here this evening. I'm going to be talking to him very short. I want to hear his take on all who getting what. And this redistribution of Region 4 electoral district. But folks, y'all know we cannot do this program without you. We want to see those shares. We want to see those emojis. That is part of how you help us here on this program. Delia Scott, Silcott, and Steve Terry, Stacey and Stoll, Jermaine Osborne, Gloria Fraser. Good to see all you fantastic folks. Valder Robinson. Oh, I can't wait to have Khemraj out. Folks, you see the ways in which you can help us. We've asked you to come on board and to partner with us so that we can do this in an even better way, guys. That being said, great to see Marna Monroe and Debbie Morgan, Jermaine Osborne, Marlon Tony, Kesh Sharma, all you great, fantastic folks like Tracy Mullen, Diane Graves Andy, Denise London Welchman, all you great folks, come on board. Ensure you come on board and partner with us. Folks, just over the weekend, I told you last night, I picked up this New York Times. This is the thickness of the paper. This is the Sunday papers, the New York Times. This is $6. $6 for one day in the week, Sunday. And we've come on board and we've asked you guys to partner with us for $5 per month. $5 per month, 10, 15, 20 US per month. Because why? We want to build big house like these jagabats? No, we want to bring you the credible and valid information. Just like this publication. When we say it here on In the Ring, when we bring the information to you in the ring, is because we've done our homework, guys. So come on board and partner with us. That being said, folks, I want to bring Khemraj on the program this evening, guys. You know him, I know him. You love him, I love him, we all love him. Let us welcome the one and only Mr. Khemraj Ramjattan.
Thank you very much, Sharad. I wasn't on prior to about 2 minutes ago, so when you say you're going to ask me some questions about what was going on, you gotta be you gotta remind me as to what it is.
Fantastic, definitely. Happy to have you as part of the main event this evening, sir. And I've got a couple of questions I'm going to shoot to you. Well, we have seen. I don't know if you want to tilt the camera a little more up. I'm thinking I'm too much over you. I want to.
Yeah, okay.
Great.
All right, yeah.
Good. I don't mind you being higher than me because that is the level we're on.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
That being said, so we've seen in the news here that these jagabats, as you would say, they have told us their intention of subdividing Region 4, according to them, for electoral purposes, because Region 4 is a lot of problems. But I didn't see this proposition, for instance, in 1997, when Dudnal Singh had declared the election results of Region 4, and there were still lots of ballots still being counted. What do you think is happening here? What is their aim?
It is to control the system. The DNA, the actual genetic composition of the PPP, is to ensure control of everything they have their hands in. It has started out since, of course, the Bharat Jagdeo tenureship, which continues, and it is everybody knows that it is a third term he is serving. And if you go back in 2020, around January time, exactly what has been said here in relation to the subdivision of Region 4 was said by Bharat Jagdeo as leader of the opposition then. So he's only implementing it now because he wants control of that very, very vital region, the most popular region. But I have a couple complaints, and that has to do with the fact that the Attorney General and the government of Ghana, they formed what is called a Law Reform Commission. And they were very adamant that the Law Reform Commission must have a say as to every major piece of legislation to be amended or to be brought in the parliament. Now, it is a very useful piece of scrutiny coming from that kind of commission, because they are going to ensure that they know the purpose of the existing law, the weaknesses and defects of it, and what can be the best proposals for strengthening it or to cover the lacuna in the law. They've passed the legislation for that. And I think they're supposed to establish and constitute the body. and then ask that body in relation to Representation of People Act, what are some of the amendments that you feel should be in view of all the crisis that we had from March to August. They have not utilized that bureaucracy, or what you might want to call another stage. They have now gone what Anil thinks, what Jagdeo thinks, and they want to change the law. Now, this is an especially sensitive piece of legislation because it does not only include subdividing Region 4, which is the largest region that comprises of about 70% of the voters in the country, but they have also, I think, expanded or increased, the imprisonment for a number of offenses. Yeah. And offenses like those had to be, of course, again, something that should be recommended by our Law Reform Commission, something that ought to be recommended by even the GCOM, because the GCOM also is a body that can advise and make recommendations for legislative changes in the law in view of past elections that had problems. Then wait in them, they go on and do their own thing to ensure control. And they are going to be on a propaganda exercise, really mauling those who and the officers and so on that have been charged and all kind of thing to make the case for their thing, for their amendments. And so two very top quality institutions of our country, GCOM and the Law Reform Commission, have been literally been abandoned now, although you have them in existence in relation to matter that GCOM itself and the Law Reform Commission ought to have a say in. And that is what makes this thing so, difficult to accept at this stage. Look, when it comes to penalties, we had brought in during that course, and it was a great thing that they were brought in, the CARICOM team. Why not, before you go on and put life sentence on certain penalties, which are never in across the Commonwealth, as far as I am aware, you don't go and check what it is that is inside of, let's say, Trinidad, Barbados, and those countries in the Commonwealth, CARICOM, in the Commonwealth CARICOM. So why not go there? All of a sudden, life penalty, life imprisonment for certain people and so on. And then that is not how you do sentencing. And especially when offenses of these nature are never prescribed on anybody because you hardly get convictions. So it is to drive fear, which is the other consideration, in my opinion. Drive fear.
Yeah. And on the conviction note, we were talking earlier with our viewers about the fact that you have all these cases coming out of the last election before the court 1 year on, and nothing has come out of them. So that is one. Two, on the very note of this legislation coming with the redistricting of Region 4, they have spent a year in office bringing this legislation now, and then they have given 6 weeks for consultation. Madness to me. Madness to us.
It is obviously madness because you in legislation like this, you have to have your support from the opposition too. You have to have support from so many organizations. I understand that they've sent it around. As a parliamentarian, I haven't gotten my hard copy. The political parties in the opposition. There are certain other institutions. And there is presently existing an arrangement with some Republican institute that has been asked to make recommendations for certain electoral legislative arrangements or amendments. I think Sarah, that girl Sarah, and the person that the Republican Institute sent down as their person, they're in the process of doing a whole lot of research in this matter too. And apparently, they don't like what research these people are doing. They want to come up with these ideas all by themselves.
Yeah. A couple of them.
After, in accordance to their nuances, to their influences, and so on. And that is what will make a mockery of the whole thing. Because this is not going to go down pretty nicely unless you get proper consultation from all these set of people. And that is one of the big mistakes they're making. They are creating institutions like they had created the Public Procurement Commission, put it in the law, but never constituted it.
Yeah.
Now you get something called Law Reform Commission. You put it in the law, but you left it there. You don't give them the work to do as to what it is that the legislation should be done, or the amendments to be made to the legislation for elections in Ghana. And in any event, administratively, in Region 4, you already have deputy registrar, or what you call it, deputy REOs, or deputy ROs already that administratively run the system. But you know, this PPP amazes me all the time. But it is something that shouldn't amaze the populace anymore. They want to have their handle on it, and that is how they're doing it.
One of the things you often talk about is this breaking down of the guardrails of democracy. And just a short while ago, you talked about how they could have and should have utilized the Law Reform Commission. The PPP come back, Khemraj, and they have never had a love for institution. For instance, November should be local government elections. Nobody ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about appointing a substantive chancellor of the judiciary, a substantive chief justice.
Okay.
We ain't talking about reconstituting the Ethnic Relations Commission, the Judicial Service Commission, as well, the public procurement body that you have articulated here so eloquently. What is wrong with the PPP, and why don't they have a love for these constitutional bodies?
It is a check and balance.
Accountability and transparency, but they seem to have no love for these bodies.
It is their aversion, Sherrod, to what is called checks and balances on their control freakism. A simple thesis. I mean, I had known of it whilst in the PPP. That is why you used to try as best to talk to them about it. I know Moses Nagamutu used to talk to them about it, and Ralph Ramkaran. And the three of us ended up being outside of Jagdeo's sphere of orbit there. And that is why he has all these instruments that he now controls. But it is exactly that being the point. They do not want anybody to, or anybody or institution to halt their control freakism. So they then go and bypass. They do what is called bypasses. So if, let's say, I didn't bring it up this afternoon that there is a Law Reform Commission whose singular purpose is to ensure that they study the existing law, find out what are its defects, and then propose to make amendments to these, especially important cardinal legislation for democracy in Guyana, and you bypass them. What are you really doing? Are they saying now that they're going to send the legislation to the Law Reform Commission for them to make an assessment? No. The Law Reform Commission is supposed to now go do very meticulous scrutiny and research of almost every provision of the Representation of People Act. Right? And then come up with a set of things. And that is one of the reasons. And there was the Attorney General proudly talking that, you know what, we failed to set up for a long time. Well, they were there for 23 years. They didn't set up nothing, you know. The 5 years we had our problems were like we had to do every blasted thing in 5 years, you know. But they now have gotten it, constitute the body. Remember with the Public Procurement Commission, they didn't constitute it for about 11 years, and they do all kind of mischief. Same thing now they want to do with the Judicial Service Commission. Those two professors that start cussing up our Court of Appeal, I believe. That it is their colleagues. One was also inside of that person, the CARICOM team, as heading some committee. Court of Appeal. Look, it is control, and that is where we Guyanese got to be fearful of this present PPP administration. All the institutions, and you know the press is being very servile at this moment. They shut their bloody mouths and they don't want to be critical of the PPP, you know? And so they now are not making all these points. They feel that, yes, whosoever is a presiding officer that do some mischief, whatever, big sentence policy behind him. People sometimes could, for very good reasons, not do the correct things, not necessarily because of deliberate sabotage of the system or rigging, and they can suffer some serious penalties. When we are doing sentencing, especially as lawyers and so on, you have to understand basically what it is that you're trying as best to solve. Now, if you just feel that as PPP, we can solve this problem and sentence them to almost death, because that is the equivalent of life imprisonment these days, what are you really doing? And then also a lot of very competent people who know that they could make mistakes. They themselves will not want now to go out and be members who will want to be presiding officers or polling agents and so on. The thing will have what is called a chilling effect.
Yep, ripple effect.
And that is the whole point of it. So they're going to get their people now, put them on and say, well, y'all going to do all them stupidness that was happening at East Coast that caused, remember, with ID cards and back trunk and that kind of thing. All of that can happen, and to the benefit of the PPP. So let me tell you something. The PPP and ordinary, they're a pack of serious riggers there. And they must understand that when you start now touching the laws without the proper consultation, you will know that that will be the end result. Remember, they couldn't even have a genuine elections for the presidential candidate.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yes.
How could people who in their DNA and their genetic makeup are haters of democracy? That is why they throw people like me and Moses and Ralph Ramkoran from that party, all of a sudden are going to be lovers of democracy. They didn't even want to carry out their very first set of organizational electoral arrangements for the president of the country or the presidential candidate for the PPP. Jack Dale gone and say, well, I like Irfan more than let's say Anil or Vindi.
And Khemraj, I want to underscore also that they are about to deny the Guyanese people local government elections. They don't like local government elections for whatever reason. We haven't had that under them for about 18, 19 years. And now again, whether they were elected illegally or not, they are supposed to be abiding by the Constitution. Khemraj, that being said, I want to raise this other issue because I'm watching over time. I know these issues are close to your heart. Now, we saw in the mid-year report economically, food prices gone up. And every Guyanese watching us here knows because we feel it in our pocket, things tight.
That's correct.
At least for some of us who getting them big contracts, building school and hotel and all of those things, things are tight. So we saw 14% in food prices. We saw inflation pushing on 7%. Just over the weekend, Khemraj, we noted a protest in Essequibo with those rice farmers under the coalition. That fertilizer was 4.6. Just the other day, it was 5.4. Yeah. And now $9,000 a bag. Khemraj, what's happening in this country?
$9,400 a bag. Look, I got a call and I told them that I wanted to find out whether indeed they're protesting, and they sent a photograph of it. And it is crazy what is happening. And this government is doing nothing to even measure up to helping them out. No, it's going to help the sugar workers. And I had to tell some of the rice farmers that y'all are really so blessed like the sugar workers. They have a thing about sugar workers. Scott Kane, go and collect the money, drink the liquor and so on. Do some other negative things and then vote PPP. That is what they want of cane cutters. The peasantry is a little different and a little distinctly more questioning constituency. Rice farmers have always questioned the PPP because they make their monies and they can talk. And once you have an independent pocket, you can have an independent mind. But if you got to rely every week on the wages of the estates, you hardly can get one. And then especially when you get other ancillary organizations like GAU pushing nonsense in your head, they can just be fanatically blind glovers of the PPP. But the peasant class has a little different history and its origins and ideological perspectives and so on. They're going to question them. How come under the APNU you get it for 4,500 and now you're getting it for 9,000 and you told us you're going to bring down the price? So we're gonna make bigger profits for the rice in rice sector. But they're shamelessly not explaining anything, but allowing the farmers, sorry, the entrepreneurs that bring in the fertilizers and things like that, they're selling it big time because they are not a farming community leadership anymore. They are the middle class businessmen and the upper businessmen supporters now. They don't care what they do. And that is why I told the rice farmers there, you got to protest some more. You have to protest some more. Some region 3 rice farmers too. I telling them, don't take it for this PPP. They don't like you. They like themselves. And they don't want different people and so on to instruct, to advise them. No, they must only advise themselves. And they live in that bubble. They do not allow a number of other opinions to, in a sense, influence the opinion that ought to matter, the final one that is. And that is what we're going to have. But moreover, I got some calls from my Coney now. The people are punishing when it comes to cost of living, boy. They're literally asking us for hampers every blasted time you make a call to them. I said, what happened? They said they can't afford these prices and so on. It's just
Things
island
like
rice we eating. Island rice, and I'm going to cut up some onion, and I'm going to cut up some pepper. Inside of those areas. And in Barbies too, it is happening. You know, when we had gotten all these things for milk for the kids and the breakfasts and so on for school children, now some of the school children, the teachers are telling me that these children are so weak and anemic when they come to school and so on. It is a serious matter, you know.
very, very.
And we want to let it be known that all these promises that this government has talked about, and notwithstanding now that they're in a far better threshold financially, like with the oil monies and all of that, bigger borrowings that they're making to create deficit financing that Winston Jordan has been talking about, from $50 billion debt ceiling now to $600 billion debt ceiling. No balanced budget anymore. Every year is about $100 billion extra.
Biggest budget ever.
Yeah. And still, you have cost of living tearing ass out there. And a lot of people now feeling the effects. But all they will do, as they will continue to do, is that hold on a while now, I'm going to build a bridge. I'm going to build a hydroelectricity. Well, that hydro go give them people hydro seed, you can see, instead of hydroelectricity. And you got so many other things that they're promising. They're promising they're going to reduce this and they're going to reduce that. It ain't reducing. This COVID has hit this entire world, and a lot of prices are going up and up and up.
Yeah.
And they can't understand the international relationship with cost of production and a whole set of other things. And so the poor people now going to be suffering 5 times worse than they were under the administration of the APNU AFC.
Yeah. Khemraj, I want to pick your brain on one more thing. I know you're a bit under the weather. I don't want to keep you longer.
Yeah,
but I want to pick your brain on another national issue. Now, we went to this what they call the Conference of Parties. This United Nations huge climate change conference called COP26. We went there. You had folks like Mia Motley on the stage, the international stage, doing a fantastic job. We had Irfan. Who is Irfan? Now, they were basically called hypocrites at COP26 because not only they want the biggest budget, they want to spend big and all of that, but they want to pump out everything. They want to pump out all the oil as quickly as possible. And then they want to be good stewards of the environment all in one. And folks said, you can't suck cane and blow whistle. You can't do both things. Right? You can't be aiding pollution on this massive scale with the kinds of oil you're going to be pumping there and want to protect the environment all at the same time. What is happening with this?
You know, that is a very challenging one even for me. I'll be very blunt with you here, Sherrod, and tell you that one of the reasons why we signed up that agreement was because we were being told by the professors. I remember Professor Paul Collier, my favorite economist. I quote him very extensively inside Parliament. He had indicated that this kind of climate change activism is going to come within 5 years. And a brilliant economist he is. It is true. COP26 now, they're making big claims and all of that. And we indicated that we would need the money for a 2025, 20 arrangement for after 2015. And so we were caught up because we wanted to at least get the oil up before all of these activism started. And of course we have started, and in a sense, we have gotten about 500 million US dollars, $500 million there. We should get another $96 billion in the coming months. Now that is important for us as a poor country. Mm-hmm. And I have spoken to other, like the Barbadian president, then Prime Minister, a good friend of mine, Frondel Stewart, that is before Mia Mottley won the thing in a landslide. And he had indicated, well, of course you have to make options. What is your option? I said, well, I will go for signing on for purposes of ensuring that we can get some money. But we are a net zero carbon sink, as it were. So the emissions that we produce is less than we absorb, because our forest is like a lung that sucks it up, and we are in a sense net zero. So we do not emit any. The biggest emitters are countries that have already gone there and taken out all their oil, put it in fuel shops, what you call the gasoline shops, sell it to the cars do all the damage and whatever. That is America, European Union, you get UK, China, India, Thailand, and them countries. That we have not done that. Now we have found the oil, it is found a little too late. What do we do? That's a big question we got to ask ourselves. We might find ourselves in the challenged position of being in between, wanting to make some money on that oil, but also wanting to ensure that we are not going to damage the planet. Now, it is something of a contradiction by virtue of that. But we still feel that a lot of the other countries are not doing enough. At least we haven't cut down our forests like how America and Russia and so on, them cutting down the forest. Or Canada to make paper and all kind of things. We have a pristine forest and so on. So on that score, yes, I believe that we have to do lots more in relation to ensuring that we do this thing. What more we can do is to ensure that people like Vince Adams' advice, that Exxon does not flare that bloody thing out there. Exxon is still flaring. Exxon is still
unabated by the government. The government doesn't have time. Wants to pay.
Exactly. And that is madness.
Damage the environments, wants to pay.
Exactly.
Cut down all the mangroves, wants to pay.
Exactly. And that is what we are saying, that this government is distinctly different from the coalition government. We had people who could have managed Exxon, and Exxon was scared of Vincent Adams. But we brought him down. Now, look what Jagdev is doing, giving away unlimited liability insurance for $2 billion. Other concessions are being granted without the flaring thing, that you got to bring flaring to a halt. No. Throwing the water into the ocean, affecting fishery. A lot of fishermen associations, I went across Lenora, chat with a man that got about 16 boats. He named Banga. And this man telling me that 40% of his the fish that has been reduced, the catch.
Wow.
And that more and more, they're not catching anything at all. The boys that are going in there and they can't make back the money. All of this, I am absolutely certain, has a causal effect or causation from that oil, that where they're dumping this hot water that they bring out from the
But Khemraj, this is a government that don't like environmental impact assessments and so on. So they weren't concerned about
that is the whole point. And that again, Sherrod, is a fundamental pillar of the rule of law. Because when we set up these institutions like Procurement Commission, so that they will then deal with the contracts, when we set up EPA, so that they will deal with whether it is contaminants and pollutants and they're screwing up the atmosphere with the flaring and so on, that is what we as politicians and ministers got to learn from and take recommendations from. But Jack, they only set up these things to tell the IMF and the World Bank and the IDB, but we set them up
Yeah.
but they don't
He's taking
constitute
off.
them.
He's taking off a checklist.
Yes. And then even so, then the personnel he puts there are not very competent to deal with these issues, like a Vincent Adams and so on. And so you become toothless poodles all around. And Jack Deo, this great bulldog, who's now going to bark and bite and run the thing as he feels like. And that is what a lot of people must understand. He's bypassing all the institutions of democracy, all the institutions of checks and balance. And that's the message I want to really bring this afternoon to you here, Sharon.
Khemraj, no doubt our viewers are very, very thankful for you coming in the ring and giving guidance as you usually do on these vast issues. I'm not going to get to pick your brain this evening about them not wanting to audit ExxonMobil and all of that. We're going to save that for another time. But a lot of disservice being done to the taxpayers or Guyanese on the whole with this government. A lot of stuff. And as you rightfully said, the journalists got to do a little more work.
Yeah.
The journalists got to do a little bit more work to expose some of the skullduggery of this administration. Khemraj, thanks for being in the ring this evening.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Glad to be here. Take care.
Folks, the man himself, the one and only Mr. Khemraj Ramjattan. And again, a lot of foolishness happening. A lot of foolishness happening in this place. Raul Brando, you know that. Nothing irregular here. Nothing not regular. And you heard it from ExxonMobil to what's happening with those institutions like the Judicial Service Commission not being established, the public procurement body not being established, a whole host of them not being established. And where are those voices? Where are the guardians of democracy? You know where they are? Oh, they're managing 5G networks now. The guardians want to be CEO of GCOM. That's where the guardians are. Where are those voices that used to be jumping on Granger at every turn? Where are those voices? Guys, and we're so grateful that your voices are still here. Janet Edwards and Valder Robinson, Jamal Aziz and Joan Stephanie, Janice Edmonds, all you fantastic folks. Guys, take the opportunity and come on board, partner with us, and allow our program to continue to grow from strength to strength. We hope that you guys have been seeing the difference. You've been feeling some of it. And guys, this is only part. Don't get tied up. We don't unleash everything yet. Hold on, man. Hold strain. Guys, we have been good stewards of the monies you've given us, that you've partnered with us with. But we need so much more, guys, to get to where we need to be. So good to have all of you on board, guys, and so good to be here every night doing this on your behalf, unfiltered, unscripted, guys, bringing the information to you, bringing the news to you, bringing the events to you, the personalities. Enough people name calling. Tomorrow night we calling some more names. I see Nessa Gaskin is with us. Michelle Solomon is with us. Ingrid King is with us as well. We see Stacey Ann and Carlotta, Barker? Yonet Elias, good to see all you fantastic folks. Folks, we are available on Cash App. It's $sign in the ring 592. Come on board and partner with us. We're available via the PayPal platform. It's in the ring 592 at Gmail. Guys, we need your help. Via MMG. The Guyanese Cash App, MMG, 627-6963 is our number there. Come on board and partner with us. You have some information to share. You got some photographs. You got a video you want to share with us, 627-6963. WhatsApp us at that number. It's also our MMG number. And we are also available on the MoneyGram platform and the Western Union platform as well. Guys, I said to you at the starting of the program, picked up this paper just over the weekend. This is the New York Times. Look at the volume of this paper. All of that is a Sunday paper. You know what's the cost of this? $6. $6. And we've asked you guys to come on board and partner with us on a monthly basis for $5, $10, $15, $20 on a monthly basis, not daily, not weekly, on a monthly basis, and help our program to grow Help us to get to the places we need to be and to the people who we need to talk with, guys. Help us to do this in a marked way. And I'm telling you, it's going to be $1, it's going to be $6, it's going to be $5, 10, 15, 20. Well spent. Well spent. Thanks for being here with us, all of you folks. I see Kosha is with us. Alexis Arthur is with us as well. Ramesh Prasad is here. Romesh Prasad. Good to see you. Romesh, folks, don't let me fight each other. We going to fight each other all the time. But if you must fight, deliver some good blows to the trenches. Abiola Clark, great to see you as well. Jermaine Osborne, good to see you. Flash, is it Garandine? Sonia Rigby, Laverne, Harry Chiran, Kelman Prasad, Tracy Mullen, Neil Bino. Good to see you, Neil. All of you fantastic, fantastic folks. Folks, we hope that you've been hearing us better. You've been seeing us better. And we are going to be doing so much more, tweaking this program as we have some new equipment on board. We're going to be integrating into our program shortly. I tell you, we don't unleash everything yet. We've just been tweaking and doing and adding, subtly, integrating subtly, folks, so that we don't have too many disruptions on a nightly basis. And folks, we are so happy to be sharing this experience with all of you, Carlotta and Janet and Sharon and Kim Walker and Glennis Mingo. Is it Bourne or Byrne? Margaret Jones. I see Agnes is here as well. Fortune. Good to see you folks. All of you guys on a nightly basis. Thanks for joining us. Guys, before you go, ensure you share the live stream. That is a role you can play as well. Share the live stream. We want to see those emojis too. Where are those emojis tonight? We want to see those emojis too. And we know lots of folks watch us who we don't always get a chance to call their names. We only see the names who are typing in the comment section there, who fight in the trenches in the comment section. We see folks like Claire, Alexis Chomley. Good to see you, Claire. Dion, Ayana, Bibi Sandyford is there too. All the other folks, the folks who watch us throughout the length and breadth of Guyana. Those of you who are watching us throughout the Caribbean region, Trinidad and Barbados, St. Kitts and Nevis, Jamaica, folks watching us in Suriname and Venezuela, Brazil, folks watching us all over the world. Folks, we are so grateful and heartened that you choose our program night after night, folks, to come and to spend your time. And that is so heartening to us. We hope that you always find that we always are worthy of your attention and your time here in the ring. Good to see folks like Anne-Marie Selby with us and Marlon Cox. Carlotta Barker is still here with us, folks. The program has ended, and thousands of you still watching us. But guys, we're grateful. Sheila Webster, we're grateful you are here. And Paulette Graves, grateful. Beatrice Selby, we're grateful you are here as well. And is it Paramdai? Am I getting that right? The name has gone by so quickly. Sharon Castello, great to see you as well, folks. That's our program this evening. Ensure that you share the live stream. That is going to be tremendously heartening to us as well, because that enables the message to get to other places, get to other people who are going to come back and watch it later on, guys. Thanks for being part of the ring this evening. As you go, guys, we always say social distance, wear your mask, sanitize. Frank busy doing other things, but we can't get distracted from taking COVID head on. Wear your mask, sanitize, and also social distance. And you vaccinate. That's important too. Vaccinate, folks. Your body, your choice. But our choice is to vaccinate. Continue to observe all the COVID-19 protocols where you are. All of the COVID-19 protocols. They're in place for you, your safety of you, your loved ones, your family, and your friends, guys. Great to be here with you. Paramdai, Harry Chiran, good to see you, Paramdai, and all you other folks. Elizabeth Maloney, Molly-Ann Mullin, good to see you. Sharon Castello Edwards, Marlon Cox, Don Nelson, and all you other fantastic folks, guys. We want to see those emojis. If you haven't had a chance to click on one of those emojis, do so now. You haven't had a chance to share the live stream back to your profiles, to your pages, to a friend, tag a friend, share it to a friend also on WhatsApp. Just copy that link and paste it there, folks. Lots of folks still need this information. Thanks for joining us, guys. Have a great evening and do stay safe. We're going to see you guys tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be joined by my parliamentary colleague, Sherwin Holder out of Region 2. And Sherwin Holder has a big, humongous, big announcement tomorrow night. He is going to be on with me. Folks, he has a big, humongous. You're going to want to be here to hear from Sherwin Holder tomorrow evening, guys. And he's going to be joining me. I got lots of questions to ask him about that big announcement that he's coming with my parliamentary colleague, Member of Parliament, Sherwin Holder in Region 2 there. Looking forward to that discussion with him. Guys, thanks for joining us in the ring. It has been our pleasure having each and every one of you guys. Do stay safe. Stay safe. And share the live stream. Share the damn live stream.